And small southern towns aren't just dominating in football, they're taking back the airwaves. Talkers Magazine keeps the definitive list of the top 20 radio talk shows in the country. No show on that list has ever originated from outside a big city. Until now. Joining me now is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories, that broadcasts from right here in Oxford, Mississippi. Lee, you and I started the radio show all those years ago. I can't believe how long ago it was. Back in 2001, your show was a huge success. But you're kind of like a My Cousin Vinny deal, Lee. I mean, you came from New Jersey, and then you relocated here, raised your family here. What's so great about Mississippi that brought a city boy down here?
Well, you've seen it. You spent a day here. Welcome to America, by the way, Laura. Welcome to America. You and I lived in D.C., and I always told you I couldn't stand the place.
That's
and
right.
I couldn't wait to be out of the place. I'm a refugee from the North coming home to his own country.
But what's incredible about the South is it's really not political. People think, oh, it's so politically this or that. No, it's not. It's just people. It's just people being together. And I wanted to do the show about college football because it's actually not political. Yeah. I mean, I'm political, but the football isn't political. It's just about family, friends, a little bit of faith, and a little bit of prayer to hope your team wins.
Well, the success of our show has been that we're telling positive stories about a good and beautiful people. And this is a good and beautiful country. My Lebanese grandparents and my Sicilian grandparents did not come here because it's a white supremacist nation, nor do my Kenyan friends, Chinese friends, Mexican friends. It's a beautiful country. It's not a perfect country. Every night, 2 hours a night, we tell stories about America's past, present. We even told a beautiful story about Barbra Streisand. Because in the end, what kind of a life is that she starts as a poor Jewish girl in Brooklyn, goes to Erasmus High School, and because of intellectual property rights, meritocracy, she rises to be the greatest star in the world and is worth $600 million. What a story. And we celebrate her story, Henry Ford's, Faith's stories, and the show is a runaway hit, I think, in large measure because it comes from small-town America. And most people live in small-town America, and you know and I know, I lived in L.A. for a year, in New York. People from small towns go to those big cities, they stay for a little while, and then they come back home.
Yeah, they want to go back home.
They want to go back home. There's something special about small towns. Yeah. You know each other, you can't abuse each other, and you don't want to be the jerk in town. Yeah. And so we get along because we need to. We're going to bump into each other over and over and over again.
Although I pretty much got run over on the Grove.
Well, that's a different place.
Earlier. So
that's a
they
different
do
thing.
run over you occasionally. You know, politics is such a dominating force in our lives, and you've done so much with education over the years, and your show is a lot about educating America. Again, not with politics.
Right.
But how important is it that schools get back to teaching and not propagandizing? I know you just wrote a piece that's going to be published in Newsweek on social studies in America.
Well, the social studies teachers are now weaponizing education for activism and advocacy, to which I say, become a community organizer, run for office. I have nothing against people expressing their opinions, but your job is not to indoctrinate, it's to tell people who Thomas Jefferson was. And he didn't just own slaves, he wrote the Declaration of Independence, had a formidable part in the Northwest Ordinance, which outlawed slavery in the Northern Territories and the expanded territories, and the guy created a revolution which started the abolition of slavery. And it was white countries, mostly, but for Haiti, that started this revolution of the ending of human bondage, and Christians played a fundamental part in the abolition movement. So tell the whole story. Yes, Thomas Jefferson owned slaves. Yes, he was a flawed man. We all are flawed, but judge him in the context of his times. We do that every night.
Lee, you were saying a while ago, and we were talking about the Netflix controversy, as Netflix and Chappelle and all that.
Right.
You said, how many shows on Netflix feature an evangelical or a devout Christian of some sort in any prominent role? And I was racking my brain. Maybe I'm missing one or two, but I couldn't think of one.
The last time I could think of a priest playing a positive role, well, in Gran Torino, there's a good priest, right? But on the waterfronts, the last time a priest...
You're going back 50 years.
We're talking 1954, Laura. 1954. Yeah. Netflix doesn't feature a priest or a pastor or a small business owner as a protagonist in any of their work. They're always the bad guys. And that just has... It's dissonant from how we all live our lives.
It's bad storytelling, and it's antithetical to who we are.
It's not who we are.
No. Lee, it's so great to see you. Congratulations on all your success.